You released the final version of Unbreakable in April.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
It's done incredibly well, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my expectations over here in Austria was that it might have, a few plays on a few radios, and that'll be it, just, so that they can tick it off the box that they've pushed the new song. But, I mean, it topped the most requested charts, it topped the airplay charts as well, where it's not just competing with Austria, but the whole world, and it's, as I say, now in its 13th week in the charts, and it's still in the top 30 actually, it's not in the top 40 anymore, it's gone back up again, because the weather started getting nicer, and obviously people think it's a good song to put on in the background at the barbecue. So,
it's one of those great songs that you can play in a sort of chilled out moment. It's a lovely song to play, I love it.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. And the greatest thing for me, which to date is the biggest recognition of my musical career, is the fact that it's been nominated as Song of the Year at the Amadeus Awards, which is the equivalent of the Brit Awards in England. And, it's never happened that a musician has been nominated with his first single. Wow. So I'm really delighted. And at the moment, we're doing a lot with the new single, So Nice, because that comes out next Friday on iTunes and Amazon and everything. And I'm very excited, a little nervous as to how it works, because the pressure is on following the success of the first one. And we've got to deliver something as good, if not better. And I'm working with a new producer now, and he's actually French, so he has the last producer was Austrian, and so had a very Austrian mentality, and now we've got a slightly more international team with a French producer, a Spanish drummer, and obviously I'm English as well, so we have a much more broader outlook, and hopefully we've brought that across in the sound as well.
Do you have any plans to release any of the singles into the UK or any other countries?
Absolutely. Well, the plan is actually basically with the album to go back, because at the moment there are 2 singles without anything to really back it up, and we were waiting until the album comes out, and then hopefully around Christmas to go back to my home country and present what I've been doing. And obviously in the autumn I plan on releasing the first of my ballads as the leaves start to turn brown, and to show that I actually have not just chilled out happy songs, although every one of my songs is full of hope and optimism. And it's one of the things about me is I'm almost incapable of being sad for more than 10 minutes, because I tend to turn bad situations into positive ones and always take the good out of things. Because one of my, I think one of the reasons why the song came out very well is because it's Unbreakable is very honest, and it describes the emotions, but and the sadness that is involved with a breakup, with any breakup, and still looks to the future and to the positive things that are attached with that. And that for me is something that's very important, because there is a lot of stuff that we can get very sad about in the world, and I see it as my job to kind of relieve people's stress and just allow them to spend 3 minutes with Unbreakable relaxing, or hopefully soon 45 minutes with the whole album. So that's the idea behind the whole thing.
It sounds fantastic. Do you want to take the album out on tour as well?
Absolutely. The tour's actually in planning at the moment, and what we're looking to do is, start in Austria, and just like the single, then go step by step into other countries. And what's really, really exciting about the whole thing is, of course, that, now internationally it's starting to get a little bit of attention, which is really, really, it blows my mind every time I think about that, because, at the end of the day, I wrote the song in a halls of residence with 10 other students around, just sitting there, let's write a song instead of doing an essay. And now, of course, it's getting people's attention. And for me, it puts a smile on my face every time I get a message on Facebook or on my MySpace page where people just say, oh, I heard your song and I like it. And for me, that's what it's all about. I wrote it for me to try and understand my own feelings at the time. And now it's really much for the listeners to decide, and if they like it, that's amazing. And if they can relate to it and maybe even benefit from the texts and things, that's fantastic. And it makes me incredibly proud of the things I've been doing, because it's obviously an alternative career choice, and it's incredibly unstable, and the competition is always cutthroat and incredibly good. But I have to say, it just makes me so happy doing what I do. So
Do you
definitely
find
the right decision.
you have to be in a particular mood or particular place to write, or is it something which just comes to you?
Well, it's a bit of both, actually. I mean, it's often happened that I've just woken up at 3 or 4 in the morning and had to turn on the light and write stuff down, which is always an interesting thing, because then I read it again in the morning and look at all the spelling mistakes because I couldn't concentrate properly. But, yeah, that's happened quite a lot. But I tend to find when I'm writing, I'm a very much people person, and I like to be around people all the time. But when it comes to writing, I like to be on my own, and preferably in a quiet place. I mean, Vienna is, of course, a landlocked city, and there's no water in Austria anywhere, really, just a couple of lakes. So it's very difficult to be near water, but I actually find that, I say that because I'm actually on a little island in the middle of the city right now, and I find it very easy to write when I'm near water, just relaxing. I find it very calming, and it allows me to think more clearly. And then I focus in on the ideas that I'm trying to write about, and nearly always I end up writing about some aspect of love, but not always the positive, fresh relationship stuff. So, I mean, I've got one song called Dying Man, which is actually about the death of my grandfather, and it's very much the same idea as Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton, where he was just singing for in that case, his son who passed away, but in this case I sang it for my dad to say, don't worry, you'll be reunited. And that's another example of the optimism that I try and put in everything. And obviously death is one of the worst topics we can face in this life. But unfortunately, all have to. So, I thought it would be wise to write about it. And then obviously, again, it comes right from the heart, and it's based on a personal experience in my life.